All the demigods offer prayers to Lord Brahma whenever there's some trouble in the universe. They have to come and see Lord Brahma and get help from him. We know before the appearance of Lord Krishna, the earth was overburdened with many demonic Kshatriya kings. So Mother Bhumi is the deity of this planet. She was very grief-stricken. She was suffering a lot because of all these demonic kings. So she went to see Lord Brahma and she asked Lord Brahma to help. But Lord Brahma didn't know what to do, so he went and prayed to Lord Vishnu. He stood on the shore of the Milk Ocean, and Lord Vishnu told him that I'm going to come on the earth planet and I will take birth in the Yadu dynasty. You can all go and take your birth there. So in this way, the different demigods, they all appeared in Krishna's pastimes. And Lord Brahma, one day he came and he saw Lord Krishna in the fields of Vrindavan with all the cowherd boys and with the calves, and Lord Krishna was playing like a little child. And Lord Brahma was trying to understand how this little child could be my master. How can he be the Supreme Lord? Of course, at this time, Lord Krishna had already killed some demons. He'd already killed Putana, he'd already killed Bakasura and Trinavata. And he killed Agasura, the big, huge demon Aga. So Brahma wanted to see more powers of Krishna. He thought, this little child, very powerful. So he tried a trick, and he stole away the cowherd boys and the cows from Krishna. So Krishna, what does Krishna thought, if I go back to Vrindavan without the cowherd boys and without the cows, the people in Vrindavan will be very worried. They'll think, why I let that happen? Why did I let somebody take them all away? Where did they go? They would be broken-hearted.
भनेर उनीहरूले नाना प्रकारका चिन्तन गर्न थाल्छन् त्यो भन्दै हुन्छ भगवान कृष्ण.
So Krishna decided he would take their place. So he expanded himself and he became all the calves and all the cowherd boys.
त्यतिखेर अनि भगवान स्वयं के गर्नु त भन्दाखेरि यो ग्वाल बाल र बाछा गाईको रूपको विस्तार आफै विस्तार गर्नुभयो.
And when they went back to Vrindavan, nobody knew. Nobody knew that Brahma had stolen everybody away and that Krishna had expanded himself. So all the gopis, they had Krishna for their son, but they didn't know it. And all the cows, they had Krishna for their calf, but they didn't know it. So this went on for 1 year, because 1 moment of Brahma's time is 1 year on this planet. Brahma had taken everybody away. It just went away for a moment. It came back after 1 moment. It was 1 year on this planet. The only person who knew was Balarama. Balarama, one day, he noticed something is going on here. The day which Lord Brahma had taken all the cowherd boys, that day Lord Balaram was not there. Lord Balaram was kept back by his mother, Rohini, because it was his birthday. So Rohini was arranging for Balaram's birthday, so he didn't go to the forest that day.
बलरामको जन्मदिन थियो. बलरामजी गाई चराउन जानु भएको थिएन. त्यतिखेर गाई चराउन जानु भएन अनि त्यहाँबाट रोहिणी माताले चाहिँ बलरामजीको जन्मदिनको उत्सव मनाउनको लागि त्यहाँनिर तयारी गर्दै हुनुहुन्थ्यो. त्यही भएर बलरामजी जान पाउनु भएन.
One day, when Krishna and Balaram were herding the cows by Govardhan Hill, all the cows, the big cows, were up on the top of the Govardhan Hill. And they saw all the calves at the bottom of the Govardhan Hill. And all the big cows, they came running down to greet all the small calves. The cows have natural affection for the calves. And they wanted to give their milk for the calves. But these calves were already grown up. They were not so small. They didn't need their mother's milk. So the cowherd men were up on Govardhan Hill and they were trying to take care of the cows. And when the cows ran down the hill, they became very angry. They thought, oh no, these cows, they've all run down the hill. They shouldn't run down the hill. They're going to lose all their milk. They're going to feed all their milk to their calves. Oh no, there'll be no milk tonight. The cowherd men were in a bad mood.
ला आज बेलुकाको लागि दुध हुँदैन भनेर चिन्तामा परे कि किन त भन्दाखेरि त्यो दुधहरू अब बाच्छाहरूलाई त्यो दुधको थुन भरेर प्रेमले गर्दाखेरि दुधको थुन भरेर उनीहरूले त्यहाँबाट दुध खिलाउनको लागि कुदेर आए र ग्वालबाले सोचे कि ला आज त दुध रहने भएन भनेर चिन्तामा परे.
But by the time the cowherd men came down the hill and they met all the young cowherd boys, they became very affectionate to the cowherd boys, and they were hugging the cowherd boys and they were being very nice to them.
जब गाई चराउन गएका ठुल्ठुला मान्छे हुन्छन्, बाच्छाहरू चराउन गएका चाहिँ बालबाल हुन्छन्. जब गाई चराउने गाईहरू कुदेर तल उत्रेर आउँदाखेरि ती गाई चराउन गएका ठुल्ठुला मान्छेहरू पनि गाई चराउन गएकाहरू पनि उत्रेर आउँदाखेरि ग्वालबालेलाई देख्छन्. अनि ती ग्वालबालेलाई देख्दाखेरि उनीहरूलाई पनि प्रेम हुन्छ र तिनीहरूसँग उनीहरूले पनि अँगालो मारेर प्रेम गर्छन्.
So Lord Balaram was wondering why these men are so nice to these cowherd boys. They're not usually so nice. And why are these cows so nice to the calves? They're not usually like that.
बलरामले चाहिँ एउटा ख्याल गर्नुभयो कि यी गाईहरू हमेशा त यी बाच्छाहरूलाई त्यति माया गर्ने थिएनन्, कसरी चाहिँ यति माया गरे भनेर बलरामलाई चाहिँ कुछ शंका भयो.
So Balaram could understand something was going on, and he asked Lord Krishna, what's happening here? Why is it like this? And Lord Krishna explained how he'd expanded himself as the cows and all the cowherd boys.
बलरामलाई चाहिँ कुछ शंका भयो र बलरामजीले कृष्णलाई सोध्नुभयो कि यहाँनिर कुछ न कुछ गडबडी छ र हे कृष्ण यहाँनिर के हुँदैछ, के चल्दैछ, लु मलाई बताएर सुनाऊ. ग्वाल बाल बच्चाहरू यति स्नेहपूर्वक के भइरहेछ यहाँनिर, त्यो भएको मलाई सुनाऊ भन्दै भन्नुहुन्छ बलरामजीले भगवान कृष्णलाई.
So this pastime shows that the person who we love more than anyone is Krishna.
भगवानको जो नित्य लीला जो हुन्छ त्यसमा गाईहरूले त्यो बाच्छाहरूलाई नि.
You know, we all, in material life, everybody's attached to our body. We like our body very much. We'll try to save our body before anything else. You may let the car break, but you want to save the body.
महाराजले उदाहरण दिँदै भन्नुहुन्छ यो भौतिक संसारमा हामीले हाम्रो शरीरलाई बहुत प्रेम गर्छौं. जेसुकै होस् पहिले सुरु हाम्रो शरीरलाई बचाउनेतिर लाग्छौं.
If there's a big fire in the house, we'll try to save our body.
यदि घर आगो लाग्यो, घर डढो, ठुलठुलो आगो लाग्यो, बिल्डिङहरु डढो भने जसले पनि पहिले सुरु आफ्नो शरीरलाई मात्रै बचाउनेतिर लाग्छ.
But more important than the body is the soul.
र महाराजले यहाँ भन्नुहुन्छ कि शरीर भन्दा पनि अझै महत्त्वपूर्ण चाहिँ के हो त भन्दाखेरि आत्मा हो.
So people who know about the soul, they'll try to do something good for the soul. They will not worry about the body.
र जसले चाहिँ आत्मालाई जानेको हुन्छ, जो व्यक्तिले आत्मालाई जानेको हुन्छ उले चाहिँ शरीरलाई बचाउनेतिर लाग्दैन, आत्मालाई बचाउनेतिर मात्रै लाग्छ.
And when somebody understands the soul properly, they'll know that this soul is just a part of the Supreme Soul, Lord Krishna.
जसले चाहिँ यो आत्माको बारेबाट जानेको हुन्छ उले यो आत्मा भगवानको अंश हो भनेर बुझ्दछ.
So the person who we really love is actually not the body, but Krishna.
र जो व्यक्तिलाई एकदम सच्ची प्रेम गरेको हुन्छ त्यो सच्ची नै उले शरीरलाई प्रेम गरेको होइन, भगवानलाई प्रेम गरेको हुन्छ.
We see people, they spend a lot of money on the body, they want to make the body look nice, but the body's temporary, it gets old, it's going to die. But still we will spend so much money on the body to decorate it, to dress it, to feed it, to clothe it, to make it healthy. You will spend so much time and money. Some people, they're on a higher platform, they understand more about the mind, and they like to keep the mind peaceful and calm, and they'll do many things to just relax the mind. But higher than the mind is the soul. And so once somebody knows about the soul, they will think about the soul. They will not just think about the body or the mind. And that soul was a tiny part of Lord Sri Krishna. So we want to understand Lord Krishna. We want to develop our relationship with Lord Krishna. So Lord Brahma, he came back a moment later and he saw all the cows and all the cowherd boys were still there. And he thought, how could they still be there? I took them away. He didn't know Lord Krishna had expanded himself. And when Lord Brahma came to see the cows, then Krishna revealed that the cows were all forms of Vishnu. Haribol?
Yes, Maharaj, excuse me, I have been hearing other outside sound, so I'm waiting to mute them.
Yeah. Okay. So, Lord Krishna revealed, when Lord Brahma came to see all the cows and cowherd boys, Lord Krishna revealed that they were all Vishnu. He showed four-arm forms of Vishnu everywhere. And then Lord Krishna arranged also many demigods also appeared, and they were all worshipping Krishna, and all different living entities appeared, and they were all worshipping Krishna. So Lord Brahma was amazed to see the power of Lord Krishna, and he prayed to Lord Krishna to forgive him for his offense. He apologized to Krishna. He said, I'm sorry, I disturbed your pastimes, I disturbed your activities here in the forest where you're having pastimes with your devotees.
ग्वाल बालहरूसँग लीला गर्दै हुनुहुन्थ्यो त्यो लीलालाई मैले त्यसमा विघ्न डाले भनेर क्षमा याचना गर्दै हुनुहुन्छ ब्रह्माजी।
So Lord Brahma prayed that in the future he prayed that he could take a birth in Vrindavan so that he could understand more about the glories of the devotees of Vrindavan who are all taking part in Krishna's pastimes.
ब्रह्माजीले भगवानसँग प्रार्थना गर्नुहुन्छ कि मेरो अर्को जन्म वृन्दावनमा जन्म मिलोस् र मैले तपाईको लीला जस्तो ब्रजमा ब्रज ग्वाल बालहरूले कसरी तपाईको लीलासँग तपाईको साथ पाएका छन् त्यसरी नै म पनि तपाईको साथ पाउन चाहन्छु वृन्दावनमा मेरो अर्को जन्म होस् भनेर ब्रह्माजी पनि प्रार्थना गर्दै हुनुहुन्छ।
So although Brahma is a big demigod, very important demigod, he prays that in his next life he can take birth in Vrindavan.
ब्रह्माजी भनेका यो भौतिक संसारका प्रथम पुरुष एकदम उच्च कोटिका हुनुहुन्छ र पनि उहाँले भगवानसँग प्रार्थना गर्दै हुनुहुन्छ कि अर्को जन्म मलाई ब्रजधाममा जन्म मिलोस् र तपाईको लीलालाई मैले बुझ्न सकूं भनेर।
Of course, we also know that in Lord Chaitanya's pastimes, Lord Brahma comes as Haridas Thakur.
चैतन्य महाप्रभुको लीलामा पनि हामीलाई थाहा छ कि ब्रह्माजी हरिदास ठाकुरको रूपले अवतरित हुनुहुन्छ।
It's explained, Lord Brahma, he prayed to Krishna that he said, I'm very proud because I'm Lord Brahma. So I'm very proud and people all come and respect me and I get very proud. So I want to become humble. So please in your next incarnation, give me a low birth so that I can become humble.
ब्रह्माजीले भगवानसँग प्रार्थना गर्नुहुन्छ कि म एकदम अहंकारी भए म अभिमानी भए र त्यसो हुँदाखेरि मेरो अर्को जन्मलाई एकदम नीच जन्म बनाइदिनुहोस् जुनद्वारा म एकदम नम्र र सहनशील हुन्छु र मैले सहन सक्ने क्षमता हुन्छ मसँग अभिमान हराउँछ मलाई नीच जन्म दिनुहोस् भनेर भगवानसँग प्रार्थना गर्नुहुन्छ र अर्को जन्ममा हरिदास भएर जन्म लिनुहुन्छ।
And so as Haridas, he's born in a Mohammedan family, and he's very humble. He doesn't get in the temples, and he just sits and chants the holy name. Then another demigod who also took part in Krishna's pastimes was Indra. He had also become proud, and he got upset when the people of Vrindavan didn't offer the yagya for Indra. He even tried to destroy all the people of Vrindavan. He tried to inundate all Vrindavan and all the cows and all the Brijbasis. He wanted to kill them all by the flood and the big storm. But Krishna took away his pride. Krishna picked up the Govardhan hill and defeated him. So even Lord Shiva also became bewildered by Lord Krishna. Lord Shiva wanted to understand Lord Krishna's Maya. So Krishna appeared in the form of Mohini Murti, the most attractive woman. And Lord Shiva became mad after her. Of course, Lord Shiva has his own wife. He has his own wife, but when he saw Mohini Murti, he was attracted to her and he chased after her.
शिवजीसँग आफ्नी स्वयं अर्धगिनी पार्वती हुनुहुन्छ त्यही पनि जब मोहिनी मूर्तिलाई देखेर त मोहिनी मूर्तिको पछि एकदम दाम्लो चुटाउँदै कुद्न थाल्नुभयो.
And sometimes even Lord Shiva was fighting against Krishna. Lord Shiva was guarding the home of his devotee, some asura. What was the name? No, there was this Bali Maharaj's son, one of the sons of Bali Maharaj. He had 1,000 arms, and no, he had 1,000 arms. He was Banasura. Thank you, Prabhu. Yeah, Banasura. Yeah, Banasura. Lord Shiva Banasura is a great devotee of Lord Shiva. So Lord Shiva was guarding the home of Banasura. And Lord Krishna came to attack Banasura because Banasura had arrested Lord Krishna's grandson, Aniruddha.
एकचोटि के भयो भन्दाखेरि बाणासुरले भगवानका नाति अनिरुद्धलाई गएर बन्दी बनाएका थिए. त्यतिखेर भगवान र बाणासुरको युद्ध चल्यो.
So Lord Shiva sometimes he forgets his position, although he's a devotee of Krishna. Sometimes he forgets and he's fighting against Krishna.
त्यतिखेर भगवान र बाणासुरको युद्ध हुँदाखेरि शिवजी पनि बाणासुरतिर लाग्नुहुन्छ. कहिलेकाहीँ के हुन्छ त भन्दाखेरि शिवजी पनि मायामा परेर भगवान उहाँका शिवजीका पूजनीय हुनुहुन्छ भन्ने उहाँले त्यो पनि बिर्सिनुहुन्छ.
So we can understand how powerful Krishna's energies is, that it can bewilder the mind of even these greatest demigods like Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma and Lord Indra.
भगवान की शक्ति कस्तो शक्तिशाली छिन् भनेर हामीहरूले बुझ्न सक्दैन. कहिलेकाहीँ महान महान देवी देवताहरूको मन पनि भ्रमित हुन्छ. जस्तो प्रकारले शिव इन्द्र ब्रह्मा यिनीहरूको मन पनि भ्रममा पुर्याइदिनुहुन्छ.
If we want to understand Lord Krishna, the only way we can understand him is by engaging in his devotional service, beginning with hearing and chanting.
यदि हामी सबैले भगवानलाई जान्ने बुझ्ने हो भने सिर्फ एउटा मात्रै उपाय छ, उहाँको भक्तिद्वारा भगवानको नाम जपद्वारा मात्रै हामीले भगवानलाई जान्न सकिन्छ.
So here in the prayer, Prahlad Maharaj is offering to Lord Nrsingadev. He said, even these devotees who they may have been studying the Vedic rituals, they study the Vedas for a long time, but they don't make advancement. But if they do devotional service, then they advance very quickly.
यहाँ प्रहलाद महाराज हामीलाई शिक्षा दिन चाहनुहुन्छ कि जो व्यक्ति शास्त्रमा पारंगत छ, वेदको ज्ञानमा एकदम निपुण छ भने पनि यदि ऊ भक्तिमा अग्रसर हुँदैन, यदि ऊ भक्ति मार्गमा लागेको छ भने भगवानको भक्तिमा ऊ कति छिटो ऊ अग्रसर हुन्छ, माथिल्लो पुग्दछ, माथि पुग्दछ.
Yeah, study the Vedas. The people who study the Vedas all for many years, they study, try to get the knowledge of the Vedas. It's very difficult to know Krishna from the Vedas.
वेदद्वारा कति हामीले वेद पुरा अध्ययन गरिन्छ, कति साल तलक, तर हामीलाई भगवानलाई जान्न बहुत गाह्रो हुन्छ, भगवानलाई जान्न बहुत मुश्किल हुन्छ.
But when they do devotional service, then very quickly they can understand the Vedas.
यदि हामीले भक्तिमय सेवा गरिछौं भने भगवानलाई बहुत जल्दी एकदम छोटो समयमा भगवानलाई जान्ने हामीहरुसँग समर्थन हुँदछ.
Not they don't just want to understand the Vedas, they want to understand who is behind the Vedas. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Vedanta krit Veda ved eva chaham sarvasya chaham ridisa nivisto matatsmitya jnanam apohanam cha vedaischa sarveraham eva vidya Vedanta krit Veda ved eva chaham. Krishna is saying, by all the Vedas I am to be known. I am the author. I am the compiler of the Vedas.
र यहाँनिर वेदको अर्थ के हो त भन्दाखेरि भगवानलाई जान्नु। यहाँनिर महाराजले श्लोक भनेर जानुभयो, वेदेस्य सर्वै अहमेव वेद वेदान्त वेद विदेव च। यो वेदको सृष्टि मैले गरेको र वेदबाट वेदभन्दा माथि म छु र जति पनि वेदको अध्ययन गर्ने हो त्यो मलाई जान्न हो। यदि वेद जानेन भने त्यो वेदको अध्ययन गरेको केही पनि मतलब हुँदैन भन्दै भन्नुहुन्छ।
So just by doing Vedic rituals, you don't make much advancement. It's a waste of time.
यदि हामीले वेद पढेर वेदको अध्ययन गरेर वेदको नियमलाई पालन गरेर मात्रै हामीले उन्नति गर्न सकिदैन।
The benefit of doing Vedic rituals is just simply some material benefit, which attaches us to the material world.
यदि वेदको परम्परालाई पालन गरेको त्यति मात्रै गर्ने हो भने हामीले भौतिक आसक्ति मात्रै बढ्दछ। यदि भगवानको भक्ति नगरिकन वेदको जो वेदमा बताएको नियमहरूलाई पालन गर्ने त्यसो गर्ने हो भने चाहिँ हामीले के हुन्छ त भन्दाखेरि भौतिक आसक्ति बढ्दछ।
So when we do devotional service, we don't have to worry about doing rituals anymore.
र यदि हामीले भगवानको भक्ति गरेछौँ भने हामीलाई अरू जो परम्पराहरू गर्न जरुरी छैन।
Madhavendra Puri was a great devotee. He was a Vaishnava sannyasi. And he says, he said, I know I'm supposed to offer prayers 3 times a day, but he said, I'm sorry, I can't do that anymore.
माधवेन्द्र पुरी भगवानका एकदम महान भक्त हुनुहुन्छ र माधवेन्द्र पुरीलाई कसैले भन्दाखेरि भगवान एक दिनको 3 चोटि भगवानलाई प्रार्थना गर्नुपर्छ भन्दाखेरि माधवेन्द्र पुरीले के भन्नुहुन्छ भन्दाखेरि त्यो म गर्न सक्दिनँ भन्नुहुन्छ।
And I'm supposed to bathe 3 times a day also. I can't do that anymore also. I offer my obeisances, but I can't do it.
र म त्यो 3 चोटि प्रार्थना गर्न म सक्दिनँ। म सिर्फ म प्रणाम गर्न मात्रै सक्छु। मैले त्यो एक दिनको 3 चोटि त्यो विधि विधानलाई मैले पालन गर्न सक्दिनँ भन्नुहुन्छ।
And I'm not able to worship the demigods or the forefathers anymore.
म अब पितृहरूको अनि त्यहाँबाट देवी देवताहरूको पूजा पनि गर्न समय छैन भन्नुहुन्छ।
But he said, wherever I go, I can only remember Lord Krishna, the descendant of the Yadu dynasty.
र म जहाँ गए पनि म श्री भगवान कृष्णलाई मात्रै याद गर्छु। यदु वंशका कृष्णलाई मात्रै मैले स्मरण गर्छु।
Wherever I go, I can remember Lord Krishna, the enemy of Kamsa. And by remembering him, I can free myself from the bondage of material life.
म जहाँसुकै गए पनि कंसलाई दहन गर्ने भगवान कृष्णलाई याद गर्छु र यो भौतिक बन्धनलाई मैले उहाँको यादद्वारा मैले सारा बन्धनलाई काट्दिन्छु।
So Madhavendra Puri said, that's enough for me. I don't need any more. I don't need any material benefits.
र माधवेन्द्र पुरीले भन्नुहुन्छ मलाई भौतिक सुविधा के पनि चाहिँदैन, त्यहाँबाट अरु माथि मलाई के पनि चाहिएन, सिर्फ भगवानको भक्ति गर्न पाए भयो।
Right, neophyte devotees, they have to offer prayers 3 times a day.
नयाँ भक्तहरूलाई एक दिनको 3 चोटि त्रिसन्ध्या भगवानलाई प्रार्थना गर्न स्तुति गर्न जरुरी छ।
Yeah, they have to get up early in the morning, they have to take their bath in the morning.
र उनीहरू बिहान उठ्न जरुरी छ र स्नान गर्न जरुरी छ।
And they have to offer their obeisances to the forefathers and the demigods.
र अनि उनी बिहान उठेर उनीहरूले पितृहरूलाई प्रणाम गर्नुपर्छ अनि देवी देवताहरूलाई प्रणाम गर्छन्।
But when somebody becomes a devotee, then they don't have to do these things anymore.
यदि कोही व्यक्ति भगवानको भक्त भएछ भने यो चीज उलाई गर्न आवश्यकता पर्दैन।
Because he's a devotee, he's already engaged in the highest thing, devotional service.
किन त भन्दाखेरि उ भगवानको भक्त भइसक्यो, उले उच्च पदलाई प्राप्त गरिसक्यो। भगवानको भक्ति उ सबसे उच्च हो र उले उच्च पदलाई अघि नै प्राप्त गरिसक्यो र त्यो चीज उले गर्न आवश्यकता पर्दैन।
But if somebody is not a devotee, it doesn't matter what you do, all these other things are not going to help you.
यदि कोही व्यक्ति भगवानको भक्त हैन भने उलाई यो बिहान उठेको नुहाएको प्रार्थना गरेको जे जतिसुकै गरे पनि त्यो चीजले उलाई मद्दत गर्न सक्दैन.
In Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, chapter 2, it is described there, Dharma svanishtita pumsa vishwakshena katastuya notpadaya yadiratim shrama eva hi kevalam. The duties done by all men are just useless labor if they do not help you to get attraction for the Supreme Lord.
यदि कोही व्यक्तिको कर्तव्य के हो त भन्दाखेरि यदि उसले भगवानको गुणगान र भगवानको भक्ति गरेनछ भने उसले भगवानलाई आकर्षित गर्न सक्दैन.
So for a devotee, it's not important to do all these rituals. He just needs bhakti, devotion.
र भक्तहरुको लागि यहाँनेरि यी विधि विधानहरु पालन गर्न जरुरी छैन. सिर्फ भक्ति गरेबार हुन्छ.
Krishna himself says in the Bhagavad Gita, in the 11th chapter and in the 18th chapter, that he can only be understood by devotion.
र भगवानले स्वयं भगवत गीतामा भन्नुहुन्छ 11 अध्याय र 13 अध्यायमा कि म श्री भक्तिद्वारा मात्रै जानिन्छु.
Krishna says in the 18th chapter, Bhaktya mama bijanati yavam yaschasmin tatvataha tatomam tatvato gyadva vishate tadanantaram. This is Bhagavad Gita chapter 18, text number 55.
भगवत गीताको अध्याय 18 को अध्याय 15 को श्लोक नंबर 56.
It's a very important... Krishna is saying only by devotion can I be understood, not by any other way. And by devotion one can enter into my pastimes, take part in my activities.
र भगवानले भगवत गीतामा भन्नुहुन्छ कि अरु जति पनि कार्य छ त्यो कार्यले मलाई जान्न सकिदैन. यदि मेरो भक्तिले मात्रै मेरो लीलामा प्रवेश गर्न पाइन्छ.
So sometimes the Mayavadis, they think Krishna, because Krishna said he enters into me, they think, oh, it becomes one, he merges. But no, we keep our identity as an individual.
मायावादीहरूले भन्ने गर्छन् कि मरेपछि भगवानमै प्रवेश गरिन्छ. तर यहाँनिर त्यस्तो होइन. हामीहरूको अलग नै हाम्रो अस्तित्व रहँदछ, एकै हुँदैन.
Prabhupada gives a nice example. He says, just like in Vrindavan, there's many parrots. You see the green parrot, and the green parrot flies into the green tree. You don't know the parrot's in there in the tree, but the parrot goes into the tree and you lose the parrot in the tree.
प्रभुपादजीले एउटा राम्रो उदाहरण दिनुहुन्छ कि वृन्दावनमा धेरै सुँगाहरू छन्. ती सुँगा हरियो हुन्छ, हरियो सुँगाहरू थुप्रै छन्. जब हरियो सुँगा हरियो रुखको भित्र उडेर गयो भने हरियो रुखको भित्र सुँगो पनि हराउँछ.
The parrot goes into the tree to eat the fruit, to enjoy.
र हरियो चरो त्यहाँ हरियो रुख भित्र घुस्छ र उसले त्यहाँका फलहरू खान थाल्छ, मजा गर्छ.
The same way devotee enjoys in the spiritual world with Krishna, taking part in Krishna's Leela.
र भक्तहरू के गर्छन् त भन्दाखेरि आध्यात्मिक भगवानको धाममा प्रवेश गरेर उनीहरूले त्यहाँ भगवानको धामको आनन्द प्राप्त गर्छन्.
So we should understand it's only by devotional service that we can come to know Krishna, no other way, not by karma, not by jnana, not by yoga, only by bhakti.
भगवानलाई कर्म ज्ञान योगद्वारा जान्न सकिँदैन. यदि भगवानको भक्तिदेखि बाहेक अरू जेसुकै गरे पनि भगवानलाई हामीले जान्न असमर्थ हुँदछौँ. र सिर्फ भगवानको भक्तिले मात्रै भगवानलाई जान्न सक्ने समर्थन हामीसँग हुँदछ.
People may do these other things, they may do karma or jnana or yoga, But that's not going to get them the goal of life. That's not going to get them love of God. That's only going to give some temporary benefit. By karma, one can elevate oneself to the higher planets. You can go up to Brahmaloka and enjoy the life in the heavenly planets. By jnana, you can get impersonal liberation. You can go in the Brahma Jyoti. And by yoga, if you do yoga, you can get the yoga siddhis, you can get the different asta siddhis, different powers, where you can do so many unnatural, mystical things. But if we want to get the goal of life, if we want to get love for Krishna, we have to do bhakti yoga. So people who are actually intelligent, they will not waste their time just studying the Vedas. They're going to take up bhakti yoga. And we have our authorities to guide us. We have the Mahajans, the great Mahajans, they're there to guide us. And Prahlad Maharaj, he's also one of the Mahajans. So Prahlad Maharaj is encouraging everybody, you take up this devotional service. You don't have to become a big scholar. You don't get Krishna consciousness just by having a degree or being a scholar. Arjuna is not a Brahmana. Arjuna is a devotee. The important qualification is devotee. It's not the birth. It's not being a Brahmana by birth. It's not birth which is important. It's not the education which is important, but it's the devotion.
Arjuna Brahman thiyena, Kshatriya thiye, ra janam le haina usko karma le gun huncha, ra janam le Brahman hundaina usko karma le Brahman hunda cha, ra padera matre vidwan hundaina, vidwan bhara matre bhakti marga apna hundaina, tab tak wo vidwan kala hundaina, usko udesha prapta hundaina, ra hamilai udesha prapta hunako lagi hamile bhakti margalai apnaunu parda cha.
So in the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna himself says, Traigunya Vishaya Veda, nice Traigunya Bhavarjuna, that the Vedas deal with the three modes of nature, rise above the modes, be transcendental to them. So this Krishna consciousness movement is following the teachings of Prahlad Maharaj. Prahlad Maharaj wants everyone to engage in devotional service. We're trying to encourage everyone.
कृष्ण भावना जो प्रहलाद महाराज जी को शिक्षा जो छ हामीले जो कृष्ण भावना हाम्रो सँग छ प्रहलाद महाराज जी को शिक्षालाई हामीले अपनाएको छ र प्रहलाद महाराज जी को शिक्षाद्वारा हामीले भगवानलाई जान्न प्रयास गरिन्छ कोसिस गरिन्छ भगवानलाई जान्न सकिन्छ.
If we simply do devotional service, then Krishna will be pleased. And when Krishna is pleased, he can reveal himself to us. Then when we don't need to do all these austerities, we don't need to do all the tapasya, we just have to engage in devotional service.
प्राप्त भएपछि हामीले अरु तपस्या अरु योग सिद्धि केही गर्न पर्दैन सिर्फ भक्तिमय सेवा मात्रै गर्दाखेरि भगवान प्राप्ति हुनुहुन्छ.
So this is the message of Prahlad Maharaj.
यो चाहिँ प्रहलाद महाराज जी को सन्देश हो.
Are there any questions?
तपाईहरु कसैलाई केही प्रश्न छ?
Hare Krishna, धन्यवाद प्रणाम गुरु महाराज.
Hare Krishna,
धन्यवाद प्रणाम प्रभु.
हरे कृष्ण प्रणाम.
प्रभु जी जो महाराज ने अघि बताउनु चैतन्य चरितामृतदेखि जो ईश्वरपुरीले जो 3 सन्ध्या पितृको श्राद्ध इत्यादि म गर्न सक्दिन मलाई माफ गरिदिनुस् भनेर जो भक्तहरुलाई ब्राह्मण दीक्षा हुँदाखेरि त्रिसन्ध्या गर्ने मन्त्र दिन्छ र ईश्वरपुरीले जो त्यागेको मन्त्र एउटै हो कि भिन्दै हो?
ईश्वरपुरी ने माधवेन्द्रपुरी होला नि. Maharaj ji, Prabhu is mentioned that he is questioned that you have mentioned before that Madhavendra was he has not following the 3 sandhya, he is not offering a prayer for 3 sandhya. So that 3 sandhya is same what Vaishnava Gurujan give to his disciple, that 3 sandhya is 3 sandhya mantra and that 3 sandhya is same, which is Madhavendra Puri doesn't like to follow anymore.
Yeah, Madhavendra Puri is not following the ritualistic karmakandi prayers.
And Nimai Prabhu is asking that 3 sandhya, which is Madhavendra Puri doesn't like to follow.
Well, just like we have Trisandhya in our Guru Vastika, we talk about Trisandhya, right?
Yeah.
We talk about the Trisandhya is there that we worship this. Yasha Prasad Bhagavat Prasado Yasha Prasad Nagati Topi Dayam Stuvam Tasya Yashas Trisandhya Vande Garoshi Charana Ravindam. So we also have in the day there are 3 sandhyas, morning, midday, and evening. We chant Gayatri Mantra, 3 sandhya. So he's not following the ritualistic prayers, the karmakandi prayers.
बिहानको सन्ध्या दिउँसोको अनि बेलुकाको हामीले 3 सन्ध्यामा गायत्री जप गर्छौं तर माधवेन्द्र प्रभुले कर्मकाण्डी त्यो पालन गर्नु हुँदैन.
So we have to know.
Does he follow that 3 sandhya?
Does he follow the Trisandhya?
Yeah.
Well, he'll follow the devotee prayers. He'll chant. He may chant Gayatri.
माधवेन्द्र पुरीले गायत्री मन्त्र जप गर्नु नहुने भन्ने हैन. गायत्री मन्त्र त जप गर्नुहुन्थ्यो तर कर्मकाण्ड जो 3 सन्ध्या हामीले कर्मकाण्डले गर्छ त्यसलाई चाहिँ गर्नुहुने थिएन. तर हामीले जप गर्ने गायत्री चाहिँ उहाँले जप गर्नुहुन्थ्यो भन्दै महाराजले उत्तर दिनुहुन्छ.
Right, we follow that. We chant Gayatri 3 times a day.
जस्तो प्रकारले हामीले एक दिनको 3 चोटी गायत्री जप गरिन्छ त्यसरी त्यो पनि त्यो त्यस्तो गायत्री चाहिँ उहाँले पनि गर्नुहुन्थ्यो.
You can also worship your deity 3 times a day, morning, midday and evening.
तपाईहरुले पनि तपाईहरुका विग्रहलाई एक दिनमा 3 चोटी पूजा गर्न सक्नुहुन्छ.
Nothing wrong with that.
यो पूजा गरेर केही पनि गल्ती हुँदैन.
But we don't do the ritualistic prayers, which are just for karmakandi, material benefit.
र भौतिक सुविधाको लागि हामीले कुनै कर्मकाण्डी गर्न आवश्यकता छैन.
But he mentions for neophytes it's important to do. So we're also, we're not very advanced, so you can do it. It's not wrong to do prayers. If you do prayers, offer prayers to Krishna 3 times a day, very nice. Offer prayers to get pure devotion, that's allowed.
र हामीहरू भक्तिमा एकदम उच्च पद प्राप्त गरेका छैनौं. हामीहरू भक्तिमा एकदम अग्रसर भएका छैनौं. हामीहरूले भगवानको वन्दना गर्न सकिन्छ. त्यो द्वारा भगवान प्रसन्न हुनुहुन्छ. हामीले त्यो गर्न सकिन्छ.
We encourage devotees, offer prayers. We're not advanced devotees, we're neophyte devotees. So for neophytes, these things are important.
र नयाँ दीक्षित भक्तहरूलाई नयाँ भक्तहरूलाई यो भगवानको प्रार्थना गर्न, स्तुति गर्न बहुत जरुरी छ.
But Madhavendra Puri, he's on a higher platform. He's on the platform of Raga Bhakti. He doesn't have to follow all the rules and regulations.
र माधवेन्द्र पुरी जो हुनुहुन्छ उहाँ चाहिँ एकदम उच्च श्रेणीका भक्त हुनुहुन्छ. राग भावमा भएको भक्त हुनुहुन्छ र उहाँलाई यी विधि विधान कर्मकाण्डहरू पालन गर्न जरुरी.
Sometimes he may follow, sometimes not.
र उहाँ कहिलेकाहीँ उहाँले पालन गर्नुहुन्छ, कहिलेकाहीँ पालन गर्नुहुन्न. उहाँलाई नियम लागू छैन.
He's not obliged because he's a very, very advanced devotee.
र उहाँ एकदम भक्तिमा उच्च पद प्राप्त गरेको भक्त हुनुहुन्छ र उहाँलाई ती चीजले केही पनि हानि हुँदैन.
Because of Madhavendra Puri, Lord Chaitanya took initiation in that same line of disciplic succession, because Lord Chaitanya appreciated Madhavendra Puri as a great devotee.
र यो माधवेन्द्र पुरीको परम्परामा चैतन्य महाप्रभुले पनि त्यही परम्परामा दीक्षा लिनुभयो र माधवेन्द्र पुरीको जो शिक्षा छ त्यसलाई पनि चैतन्य महाप्रभुले अपनाउनु भयो.
Because Madhavendra Puri has raga bhakti, he has spontaneous devotion. He's always thinking of Krishna.
र माधवेन्द्र पुरी राग भक्त हुनुहुन्छ. उहाँले भगवानलाई निरन्तर हमेशा स्मरण गरिरहेको हुनुहुन्छ.
We have to try, we have to force ourselves to think of Krishna. That's why we have to chant prayers. It helps us to think of Krishna.
हामीहरू कोसिस गर्नुपर्छ. हामीलाई जबरजस्ती भगवानलाई स्मरण गर्ने कोतिर एकदम दबाव दिनुपर्छ. जसद्वारा हामीहरू एक दिनमा हामीले प्रार्थना गर्नु परेको किन त भन्दाखेरि भगवानलाई धेरै धेरै स्मरण गर्न हामीलाई याद हुनको लागि अभ्यास होस् भनेर.
But Madhavendra Puri, he doesn't need to do like that. He doesn't have to force himself to think of Krishna. He's naturally Krishna conscious.
र माधवेन्द्र पुरीलाई यो चीज जबरजस्ती गराउनको लागि जरुरी छैन. माधवेन्द्र पुरी आफैमा भगवानलाई साधारणतया उहाँले निरन्तर याद गरिराख्नु भएको हुन्थ्यो.
He doesn't forget Krishna. So he's always thinking of Krishna.
माधवेन्द्र पुरीले कहिले पनि भगवानलाई बिर्सिनु भएन. हमेशा भगवानलाई याद गर्नुभयो. हमेशा स्मरण गर्दै चल्नुहुन्थ्यो. I read in this Braja Santa, yes, Madhavendra Puri is one of the highest devotee in our sampradaya.
Oh yes, yeah. He brought the seed of spontaneous devotion to Krishna into the sampradaya. Before Madhavendra Puri, they didn't have this.
माधवेन्द्र पुरीले भक्तिको बीज हाम्रो यो सम्प्रदायमा उहाँले लिएर आउनु भयो.
Yeah, the seed of that ecstatic love for Krishna.
भाव भक्ति जो छ माधवेन्द्र पुरीको जो भावमा प्रदर्शित भएको।
When Madhavendra Puri was leaving the body, he was reciting a verse speaking about separation from Krishna.
माधवेन्द्र पुरीले जब Maharaj, again please.
He would recite a verse, a special verse about separation from Krishna, a verse which was spoken by Radharani.
Radharaniले भन्नुभएको एउटा श्लोकलाई माधवेन्द्र पुरीले फेरि त्यसलाई दोबारा भन्दै हुनुहुन्छ।
And it said this verse is so deep, the meaning is so deep, it can only be understood by Lord Chaitanya, Madhavendra Puri, and Lord Krishna.
त्यो श्लोकको मतलब चाहिँ चैतन्य महाप्रभुले, भगवानले अनि माधवेन्द्र पुरीले त्यसको गहिराईलाई उहाँ तीन जनाले मात्रै बुझ्न सक्नुहुन्थ्यो।
So that lets you know what kind of devotee Madhavendra Puri is. He's such a great devotee.
र हामीहरूले त्यहाँनिर थाहा हुन सकिन्छ कि माधवेन्द्र पुरी कुन श्रेणीको भक्त हुनुहुन्थ्यो भनेर, एकदम महान भक्त हुनुहुन्थ्यो भनेर हामीले जान्न सकिन्छ। अरु प्रश्न?
When Lord Chaitanya would meet a disciple of Madhavendra Puri, Lord Chaitanya would offer obeisances to him.
जब चैतन्य महाप्रभुले माधवेन्द्र पुरीका शिष्यहरूलाई भेट गर्दाखेरि चैतन्य महाप्रभुले पनि माधवेन्द्र पुरीका शिष्यहरूलाई दण्डवत प्रणाम गर्नुहुन्थ्यो।
Because Lord Chaitanya's guru was a disciple of Madhavendra Puri. Ishwara Puri was the disciple of Madhavendra Puri.
चैतन्य महाप्रभुका जो गुरु हुनुहुन्थ्यो ईश्वर पुरी, उहाँ माधवेन्द्र पुरीका शिष्य हुनुहुन्थ्यो।
So when Lord Chaitanya met any disciple of Madhavendra Puri, he would treat them like his guru.
र चैतन्य महाप्रभुले माधवेन्द्र पुरीका जो शिष्यलाई पनि भेटे पनि माधवेन्द्र पुरी जस्तै उहाँले व्यवहार गर्नुहुन्थ्यो, त्यसरी नै उहाँलाई सत्कार गर्नुहुन्थ्यो। हरे कृष्ण। अरु कसैको के प्रश्न छ? निमाय प्रभुलाई भयो प्रभु?
हजुर, थ्याङ्क यू प्रभु, थ्याङ्क यू गुरु महाराज।
Okay. No more questions?
अरु के प्रश्न?
प्रभुजी, जो ब्रह्माजी 12 महाजनमा हुनुहुन्छ र पनि उहाँ प्रथम जीव भएर पनि जो ब्रह्मा विमोहन लीला हामीले अघि सुन्यो, ब्रह्माजी के कारणले मोहित हुनुभयो? किनभने उहाँ त गर्भस्तुति गर्न पनि स्वयं आउनुभएको थियो र कृष्णलाई यो मेरो भगवान होइन भन्दै कसरी मोहित हुनुभयो?
Maharaji, one more question was come that Brahmaji is one of the first jiva. Also, he is in a Bara Mahajan. Why he become in an illusion that Krishna is not supreme? Why he become an illusion? That question is.
Well, that wasn't his illusion. Was not that Krishna is not the supreme. He didn't have illusion about that, but he just wanted to see more pastimes of Krishna.
निमाय प्रभुको प्रश्नलाई महाराजले के उत्तर दिनुहुन्छ भन्दाखेरि उहाँ अज्ञानमा हुनुहुन्थेन। उहाँले के चाहनुहुन्छ भन्दाखेरि उहाँले भगवानको लीलालाई प्रदर्शन गर्न लीलालाई दर्शन गर्ने इच्छा गर्नुभयो।
He'd seen Krishna he'd seen Krishna kill these different demons, and he wanted to see more pastimes. He wanted to see how he would behave, what he would do.
भगवानले कस्तो व्यवहार गर्नुहुन्छ, भगवानले असुरहरू त थुप्रै असुरलाई मार्नुभयो, तर यो लीला उहाँले कसरी व्यवहार भन्ने त्यो लीला दर्शन गर्न चाहनुभयो थियो ब्रह्मजीले। ब्रह्मजी अज्ञान पर्नुभएको होइन भन्नुहुन्छ।
The followers of Madhvacharya, they don't accept this pastime. because they're followers of Madhvacharya. They come in the same line of disciplic succession as we do from Brahma. So they say, no, Brahma couldn't have done this. He wouldn't do this. And so they don't accept this pastime. They just ignore it.
Which sampradaya? Which?
Madhva.
Madhavacharya sampradayale यसलाई यो ब्रह्म विमोहन लीलालाई इग्नोर गरिदिन्छ, कटाइदिन्छ, यसलाई स्वीकार गर्दैन। किन त भन्दाखेरि यो ज्ञान ब्रह्मजीबाट आएको ज्ञान उनले त्यो ब्रह्म मोहमा पर्नुभयो भन्ने माधव सम्प्रदायले लिँदैन।
But we accept it and we say, yeah, you know, this is Lord Brahma's pastime that, you know, Krishna is he bewilders the minds even of the great demigods.
हामीले चाहिँ स्वीकार गर्छौं, किन त भन्दाखेरि भगवान महान हुनुहुन्छ र महान भक्तहरूलाई पनि मोहमा डाल्दिनुहुन्छ भन्ने हामीलाई जानकारी छ।
Even Lord Shiva gets bewildered. Lord Shiva, he's not a jiva. Brahma is a jiva. But Lord Shiva is not a jiva, and even Lord Shiva gets bewildered.
Brahma जीव हुनुहुन्छ, शिवजी जीवको श्रेणीमा हुनुहुन्न, त्यही पनि शिवजी पनि मोहमा पर्नुभयो। महान देवताहरू पनि मोहमा पर्दछन्, भगवानलाई जान्नमा असमर्थ हुँदछन् भन्नेको मतलब।
So Lord Krishna, he has this inconceivable potency, achintya shakti, but he has inconceivable powers, even beyond even the powers of Brahma to understand, and even Shiva cannot understand the power of Lord Krishna.
Brahma ji ko shakti, Shiva ji ko shakti, hamar ko yatro kehi na kehi शक्ति, त्यो शक्तिले भगवानलाई हामीले जान्न असमर्थ छौं। चिन्तन गर्न, भगवानको चिन्तन गर्न हाम्रो शक्तिमा असमर्थ छ। ब्रह्माजी र शिवजीको शक्तिमा त असमर्थ छ भने हाम्रो त के कुरा गरिराख्ने? भयो प्रभुजी?
Yeah, we see Lord Shiva bewildered by Mohini Murti. Although Lord Shiva has a beautiful wife, Bhavani, but still somehow he became attracted to this Mohini Murti.
Shivaji, apni ardhangini हुँदा हुँदै पनि मोहिनी मूर्तिमा आसक्ति हुनुभएको देख्न सकिन्छ, देखिन्छ पनि।
Lord Shiva, he is very sober-minded. He is very mentally controlled.
शिवजी को जो मन छ एकदम विशेष छ, एकदम मनलाई उहाँले केन्द्रित गर्न सक्नुहुन्छ, त्यही पनि उहाँ मोहमा पर्नुहुन्छ।
There's a story that Lord Shiva was meditating, and the demigods, they wanted to get the semen from Lord Shiva. So they produced this very beautiful woman from the heavenly planets, and she came there to try to seduce Lord Shiva.
Actually, Shivaji tapasya garera tapasyama लीन हुनुभएको थियो, त्यतिखेर इन्द्रका स्वर्गका देवी देवताहरूलाई शिवको
So Lord Shiva was
वीर्यले त्यो एकदम राम्रा अप्सराहरूलाई निर्माण गर्नको लागि शिवजीको वीर्य चाहियो। त्यो वीर्य चाहिनको लागि यतातिर आएर शिवजीलाई जगाउनतिर लागे।
There's this one drama, Kumar Sambhav. So Lord Shiva's meditating, and this demigod, the beautiful woman from the heavenly planet, she comes and she touches Lord Shiva's genital, but Lord Shiva just stays in meditation. He doesn't get distracted.
जब शिवजी तपस्या गर्दै गरेको बेला स्वर्गबाट अप्सराहरू आए र अप्सराले नृत्य गरेर शिवजीको जनेन्द्रलाई गएर समाते।
So this is Lord Shiva. He's very sober-minded. He's mentally controlled. But still, when he saw Mohini Murti, he was running after her like a madman.
भएर पनि शिवजीको तपस्या भङ्ग भएन तर जब मोहिनी मूर्तिको रूपलाई शिवजीले देख्दाखेरि शिवजी मोहिनी मूर्तिको पछि कसरी लाग्नु भन्दाखेरि एउटा पागल जस्तै गरेर मोहिनी मूर्तिको पछि लाग्नु भयो.
And Mohini Murti, she went where all the great yogis and sages were, where they were all meditating. And she went there just so that they could see, oh look, see Lord Shiva's chasing after this woman. Lord Krishna arranged like that so that these people would all be taught a lesson that you have to be very careful not to get attracted.
जब शिवजी मोहिनी मूर्तिको पछि पर्दाखेरि मोहिनी मूर्ति सबै ऋषि मुनि तपस्या गरेको ठाउँमा भ्रमण गर्दै शिवजी पछि पछि मोहिनी मूर्ति आगे आगे भगवान त्यसरी प्रदर्शन गर्दै के देखाउन के शिक्षा दिन चाहनुहुन्छ भन्दाखेरि हेर शिवजी पनि यसरी मोहमा पर्छन् भनेर तपाईहरु सबै एकदम सावधान भएर ध्यान गरेर भगवानको भक्ति गर्नुपर्छ भन्ने शिक्षा दिँदै चाहनुहुन्छ.
So Lord Shiva is a great devotee, but he's not equal to Lord Krishna.
शिवजी महान भक्त हुनुहुन्छ तर भगवानको समान हुँदैन.
Bhishma, grandfather Bhishma, he was a brahmachari. They wanted him to get married, but he wouldn't get married.
भीष्मदेव ब्रह्मचारी हुनुहुन्छ र उहाँलाई बिहा गर भन्दाखेरि बिहा गर्नु भएन.
Even Parasuram fought with him. Parasuram's his guru. And Parasuram was telling him, you should marry this girl. She wants to you're supposed to marry her. You ruined her marriage. You have to marry her. And Bhishma said, no, I vowed to be brahmachari. So he had to fight with Parasuram.
परशुराम बिहा गर्दिन भन्ने भयो. त्यतिखेर परशुरामले भन्नुभयो भीष्म पितामहलाई तिमीले यी कन्याको अपहरण गर्यौ तिमीले यिनीहरुलाई बिहा गर्नुपर्छ यदि बिहा गरेन भने यिनलाई बिहा गरेन भने तिमी मसँग युद्ध गर्नुपर्छ भन्दै आदेश दिनुभयो.
So
बिहा गर्दिन तपाईसँग युद्ध गर्छु भन्नुभयो.
Parasuram could not defeat Bhishma. So they told Bhishma, okay, I can't defeat you. So he said, then you just have to stay brahmachari then, okay.
अनि जब युद्ध भयो त्यतिखेर भीष्म पितामहलाई परशुरामले जित्न सक्नु भएन. त्यतिखेर परशुराम पनि हार खाएर ठिकै छ अब तिमी ब्रह्मचारी नै बस भन्नु.
So they were saying to Bhishma, you're the greatest brahmachari. But Bhishma said, no. He said, I'm not the greatest brahmachari. He said, you know who the greatest brahmachari is? The greatest brahmachari is Krishna.
र त्यतिखेर परशुरामले भन्छ तिमी एकदम महान ब्रह्मचारी हो भन्दाखेरि भीष्म पितामहले के भन्नुहुन्छ भन्दाखेरि म ब्रह्मचारी एकदम कट्टर ब्रह्मचारी होइन. ब्रह्मचारी चाहिँ को हो त भन्दाखेरि भगवान कृष्ण हो भन्नुहुन्छ.
And they were shocked. They said, what, Krishna? He's always with the gopis, got so many girlfriends. But Bhishma said, no, actually he's very renounced. He's not attached to any of these women.
त्यतिखेर भीष्म पितामहले भगवान कृष्ण ब्रह्मचारी भन्दाखेरि उतातिर सुन्ने मान्छेहरु सबै के हुन्छ भन्दा आश्चर्य हुन्छ कसरी के हुन सक्छ भगवानसँग यत्र संगिनीहरु छन् ती संगिनीहरुसँग भगवान लीला रचाउनुहुन्छ कसरी चाहिँ भगवान ब्रह्मचारी हुन सक्नुहुन्छ भन्ने सोच्छ.
Sometimes he's dancing Rasa Leela with so many gopis, and then he would just go away and leave them all.
र कहिलेकाहीँ भगवान के गर्नुहुन्छ रास लीला गर्नुहुन्छ थुप्रै गोपीहरुसँग नृत्य गर्नुहुन्छ कहिलेकाहीँ सबैलाई छोडेर एक्लै गएर बस्नुहुन्छ.
So Krishna is the greatest brahmachari.
र भगवान कृष्ण चाहिँ एकदम महान ब्रह्मचारी हुनुहुन्छ.
Bhishma could understand that, and he offered his respects to Lord Krishna.
र यो कुरा भीष्मलाई थाहा थियो र भीष्म पितामहले भगवानलाई आफ्नो आदर प्रणाम र प्रार्थना भगवानलाई हमेशा गर्नुहुन्थ्यो.
Okay? Any other question?
र तपाईहरु कसैलाई अरु केही प्रश्न छ?
हरे कृष्ण गुरुबाट धन्यवाद प्रणाम.
Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभुजी.
हजुर हरे कृष्ण धन्यवाद.
हजुर मैले अहिले त निमाइले सोधे जस्तै नि अब जो बर्माजीको त लीला भगवानको लीला सुन्नको लागि कसो गर्नुभएको भन्नुभयो नि तर इन्द्रदेवको पनि एकचोटि अब त्यस्तो भएको छ नि, उहाँले भगवानलाई मिठो नगरेर अब के अरे 7 दिन पानी बर्साउनु भयो हो, त्यो पनि भगवानकै लीला जान्नको लागि त्यसो गर्नुभएको कि के हो भन्ने नि यसो सोधिदिनुहोस् न।
Bhagavad Dharma Prabhu is questioned that Maharaji, Brahmaji has done that Leela because he would like to see the Krishna Leela. But why is Indra has done also this storm and big raining, flooded, also is the same as Brahma? Or
no, Indra was proud. Indra was angry because Krishna stopped doing the Indra Yagya. There was, you know, the people of Vrindavan were going to do Indra Yagya, but Krishna told them not to do it. Krishna said, you don't need to do Indra Yagya, just demigod worship. It's not necessary. You don't need to do this in the worship of demigods. They said, we'll get rain. We don't need to worship Indra.
भगवान उसको सेवा ब्रजवासीले नगर्दाखेरि उलाई रिस भयो, क्रोध आयो र उले सारा ध्वंस गर्नको लागि भगवानले उसको जो अभिमानलाई दूर गराउनको लागि त्यसो गर्नुभएको।
So Indra became very proud, he became very angry, and he sent his clouds, Samvartaka clouds, to inundate the whole of Vrindavan and destroy everybody. So Lord Krishna he picked up the Govardhan Hill to protect everybody. And it gave Krishna an opportunity to be with all the gopis for 7 days and nights. They could all be together. So many purposes were served by the one thing. Krishna was able to show everyone the greatness of Govardhan Hill. And he was able to crush the pride of Indra, make Indra humble. So it was different from Brahma. And after Krishna had picked up Govardhan Hill, then Indra came to apologize, and he came along with Surabhi cow. So Krishna forgave him and told him to go back to heaven and stop all of his nonsense. So Indra also came in Lord Chaitanya's pastimes to see Lord Chaitanya. Okay.
तपाईँले सबैलाई भयो।
हजुर, थ्याङ्क यू भेरी मच महाराज, धन्यवाद प्रभुजी।
धन्यवाद। अरू माताजी प्रभुजी।
Okay, so if there are no more questions, then we'll stop here.
I think no more question, Guru Maharaj.
Okay, so thank Prahlad Banu Prabhu for translation.
Thank you very much for your good, nice, beautiful lecture, Maharajji.
And thank all the devotees.
Very, very thank you for Prahlad Prabhuji.
Yes, thank Prahlad Banu. Srila Prabhupada ki.
Jai.
Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki.
Maharaj ki.